Alright, let's go ahead and get started here. Welcome to the nasal stream. aka I'm still kinda sick. A little bit, not that big of a deal though, just kind of really congested. Anyway. Alright, what do we want to do? Let's just go ahead and jump in and start murdering things, why not? Why not? Okay, so we're doing mass murder, so we probably don't want to be Scav Girl. Pack Mule, sure. Alright, that's good. Do we have ammo for the scar? We kinda do actually. We can rock that. Grab that on over. Fill up on 50 cal. That's good enough. Talk to Heisenberg, get some meds. And we're good there. Our backup should probably be an auto shotgun again, though I'm pretty short on shotgun shells, right? I'm fine. Hey, Y7. Alright. So we have Water Wars, Clear Skies, Scav, Scrap. So we probably want to bring a drill. Just a drill. And I think we're good? Hope we're good? Hey, Michael. How's it going? Hey, Agent. Hey, Duffs. Alright, and then HUD off. It's such a low priority, but I would love to see, like, on the back right hip of just, like, what you have equipped on. It'd be so useful. For no HUD mode. It's so, like, because it's, like, only used for, like, a vanity mode, it's like, is it really worth the time? That just uninstall it and remove it from your Steam account. That way you actually have to go back to the store page to actually reinstall it. It's a weird boon of free-to-play games like that, is you can like make it harder for you to reinstall. Also, like, War Thunder's like a great time sink game, right? So it's like, find some other time sink. Are you just not, like, rendering the full backpack right now? Whatever. Alright, if I was a jamming device, where would I be? Probably inside here, I guess. Man, my internet is not liking me right now. How's it for you guys right now? Is YouTube still holding up fine? Y7, I was sick, yes. I am very much congested right now, yes. Fuck off. Yeah, no, I got a notification. Like, that is like the downside. I saw the drop frames too. That's the downside of my ISP now, is just sometimes they're gonna shit the bed and I have like no control over it. There's nothing I can do about it. I have no choice in provider. It's just them, and it's a fucking shitty cable company I've had plenty of experience with in the past, that I had the leisure of avoiding for the last 3 years before I moved. And don't worry, I'm only gonna be here for about a year. Ahead. Once Once I'm done here, I never have to go back to them again, because I'll make sure I'm gonna find a place that doesn't have them. I can even just say their name too. It's Spectrum. It's Charter Spectrum. Yeah, okay, alright people. I'm gonna need you all to get off Elon Musk's stick, please. S'il vous plaît. Oh god, the trees are still fucking... Why are the trees still fucking made of concrete? Why is that still a thing? I mean, it's pretty... What the fuck? Alright. I guess he's going to his people. I mean, it's a pretty renowned thing for most US cable companies to be just absolute dog shit because they all have monopolies in their local areas. So Spectrum, what's it called? Comcast, all of them assholes. Just have the worst fucking service because they haven't needed to upgrade in fucking decades. No. So I hope I've reported these trees before, and do I need to like lay it down again that these trees are egregious? So these trees eat bullets, and like it's inconsistent too. It requires the actual bullet to hit the tree, but like so when you're like trying to shoot something like over here, right? It doesn't work. And so you're just like elderly confused what the fuck's going on. Alright. Alright, let me go fucking turn off some drones. God, leave me the fuck alone. Already out of meds, aren't I? I feel like it should just... I feel like I shouldn't be bringing big fancy meds anymore on runs like these with no HUD. I just bring like 60 vials of the small ones, right? So I don't waste big ones on small amounts of healing. Hey J-Puck. But no, yeah, like I'm only gonna be here for about a year, and then once I move back or go to wherever the jobs are, the mythical land of jobs, I'm gonna make sure I find a place with fiber. Because I mean, like, say like talk shit about Google all you want, and like I'll back you all the way. Like, I had Google Fiber for 3 years. I had maybe like one outage, maybe two outages in the span of 3 years. With Spectrum, it's like weekly. And not to mention there's like regular scheduled maintenance sometimes in the middle of fucking night. And by middle of the night I mean like 12 big midnight. Hey Game Shift. I'm doing well. You can probably tell I'm a bit congested, still just kind of the fallout from the flu. Nice shape, Huck. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're hooked. There is genuinely no fucking way you've only ever had the flu once. There's no... Unless you are like literally 5 years old, Y7, there's no fucking shot you've only had the flu once in your life. Unless you're a fucking bubble boy. Are you Jake? Are you a young Jake Gyllenhaal? I'm pretty sure that was the guy in Bubble Boy, right? It was Jake Gyllenhaal, right? Just a young version of him. Still, like, there's no shot you've only had the flu once, even if you're 17. Like, if you go to public schools, right? Like, you are going to be exposed enough people on an annual basis Do you guys just like... How have you never gotten sick at school before? Oh, I mean, do you guys get flu shots? I will say Y7 and Agent. I mean, like, do you guys get like annual flu shots? That's a fair point, Zia. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense than if you're getting flu shots every year, not to get the flu. No, like that tracks. Understood. Yeah, that is on brand. I mean, to be fair, like I know when I get the flu because it does the same thing to me every single time I get it. It just knocks me the fuck out for a day, and then I have just lingering shit for the next week. I was killing water thieves. What's my last quest? Oh yeah, we're here. Yeah, then Michael, that's usually how I get it too, like once every 3 to 4 years. I don't get it very often. I would actually say I probably get the flu more than I get the cold, weirdly enough. I usually don't get colds. I say that, by the way, I've definitely just cursed myself to get a cold in this coming winter. 100%. I've already just cursed myself. I'm trying to recall the last time I had a stomach bug. I know you can get stomach bugs without actually like eating something bad, but like I haven't had an actual factual like vomiting stomach bug in forever. But no, I do agree. It does fucking just suck being stuck next to a toilet or like a trash bin like all day because you just don't know when you're gonna hurl. It's the absolute worst. I have dodged COVID, thankfully, for now. Knock on wood. I haven't had a booster in a while though, so I'm kind of primed to get it potentially. I should probably go get a booster. Yeah, they're not perfect, but like, I mean, that's the big thing, right? It's like, it's better to get it if you've had a booster. Like, the extra, the biggest thing, right? Like, remember, when you get sick, like, sure, like, if you're sick for long enough, it's like the disease will kill you, but weirdly enough, like, the biggest concern a lot of the time is just how violently your body can react to certain sicknesses, right? It's like, for example, when you really have a high fever, you're supposed to take Tylenol to like knock it down, or like if it stays high for a very long time, you need to go to the hospital because having a high fever for a long time, like it's your body trying to defend itself, but it's also killing you. And so, like, that was a big thing with COVID, right? Is like your body would react very violently to the virus, and by extension, basically kill you. Listen, your body's just, you know, just imagine your body's Russia in the winter. It's gonna burn everything down to defend itself. Good old scorched earth. Good luck pillaging the farmlands for grain. We burned it all down. We didn't finish Water Wars? How many did we not? I killed a lot of fucking water thieves. I feel like, yeah, at 3 times, Agent, it definitely feels like at this point you're just taunting COVID. You're just setting a trap. Alright, I really cannot stress this enough of how much is my basic bitch loadout. Just Scar plus auto shotgun plus masked man plus just a gigantic pile of medicine. Yeah, perfectly functioning. I mean, it works, right? It's just, yeah. Scorched earth.
I hate the surface.
Ah, yes. Slide on in. The thing is actually, like, going... I know it's, like, probably just, like, it was a test from very early on. That thing is going pretty fucking fast, though, I will say, all things considered. Like, when you see something that big, you think it's, like, gonna be, like, lumbering along, like, a few knots a minute. Sorry, not a few knots, just, like, a few knots in general. I think it was probably going, like, a solid, like, 10, 15, 20 miles an hour. It does, Agent. It depends on how fast you load in. But if you load in pretty quickly, yeah, it will, like, it slides into place. Keyword there being slide. It doesn't actually, like, it doesn't move, like, its tracks don't move, it just kind of is dragged along the axis into position. I think Sudafed, which I think is what you're describing, right? It's over the counter, but, like, you have to go, like, talk to the pharmacist to get it. Like, it's not like a drug where Sudafed, I'm not sure if Sudafed's the same thing as what you're describing, but for, like, I think things like Sudafed in the US, you have to go talk to the pharmacist, and, like, they had to get your info, and you can get it over the counter, but, like, they collect your info first, because it's used for, I think, a few, like, it can be used illicitly. So they want to make sure you're not stockpiling up on it, basically, and not using it for, like, outside of, you know, designated medical purposes. But I don't believe you need a prescription for it, an RX for it. Alright, you won. For sure, J-Pog, it is slightly alarming. I think it's just like something that they probably didn't think that would be exposed to players. Am I getting shot or is that someone else? I can't tell, it's not me, right? If I was getting shot, it would tell me. Yeah, 100% we're fine. I just got the good old Tylenol plus ibuprofen. Tylenol for the fever, ibuprofen for just like, ugh. I'm not gonna. It was like in the, I think the May, or like, I think it was the May patch. They really added a lot more of like the impulse effects to enemies when you shoot them. And my god, they're so fucking comical. Like, don't get me wrong, getting shot by 50 BMG, it's gonna do some very gnarly things to you, but just like, it's so wonky how sometimes they'll just like fly to the, like, it's like there's a wire attached to them pulling them off stage. It's so fucking funny. Poor guy's got no gun. Hey Survivor, how's it going? Oh, what the fuck are you doing here? You ain't got no gun. You don't got no arm. All right, well. I can't. That looks like a 20mm rotary cannon, and it just looks like it's firing like 5.56 tracer rounds. Favorite enemy unit? Let me ponder. What do I like fighting against the most? Weirdly enough, I actually do really like the ranged brawlers. I think their AI is still a bit derpy, but I really like... Ranged brawlers are like a great way of having a unit that doesn't feel overly tanky, but is very dangerous, right? And they don't feel like they're put... like, they don't feel wrong. So I really do like the ranged brawlers, the one with RPKs. If you're unfamiliar, they're usually like, they're a variant of the heavy brawler, right, that they spawn in packs of 3. And like, if they catch you in the open and you're unaware of them, you will die. And like, even if you start fighting them, if you don't like immediately just destroy them, like, they put up a very good fight. But like, at the same time too, they're not unkillable. Like, they feel fair. They're just a highly lethal unit. I weirdly think most infantry should be like probably around that level, right? Like, not as tanky, as not maybe as deadly, but like that kind of lethality is, I think, a better, it feels better to me than unkillables. Seeing a grabber, I'm just like, okay, it's a grabber. It's time to, you know, do X, Y, and Z gimmick to avoid it. In contrast, though, like, seeing a pack of brawlers is like, oh shit, let me go fucking hide real quick or take cover. And maybe, like, decide to engage them because I don't want to get shot in the back by them because they'll kill me immediately. Not through some, like, one-shot mechanic, just because through sustained firepower. Alright, time to figure out how to go through here again. This is always fun. The invisible walls. Alright, and then... there we go. So if you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm going around this because I don't really want to go through the crawler, because the crawler is kind of hell. The downside is this area is full of invisible things you can't see in regards to movement, so you kind of just gotta figure out slowly with where to go. Alright, perfect. And I believe the way is up through here. Yeah, just like, just learn all of that, by the way. Just figure out where the actual invisible boxes are, where to climb. Super intuitive. I mean, I like Mother because it's, I really do like the idea of logistical units. Design? I mean, I like the Yoruska Media mech a lot in regards to design. It's got some very nice organic shapes to it. I kind of hope they're willing to lift the veil a bit more and show us things like... I'm really hoping that, like, Yoruska's actually, like, part biological too, and not just, oh, hey, by the way, we just made tech in the shape of biology. That feels like such a cop-out for design. Where are my opals at? That was number... Did they turn off opals for this one? I mean, in a way, it kind of makes sense, right? That's a weird graphical glitch going on over there. Alright. I wonder if they turned off opals here because they would always die, no matter what they did. Schematic book survivor, it's more in the sense of just like, I'm not even saying schematic, but just like through quests or like items and stuff like that, just kind of reinforcing the notion that like, hey, Yoruska is the faction of like biology and technology. What the hell is this? What in the goddamn fuck? What invisible bullshit wall is this? What? Alright. This game's tripping me up. Yeah, that was the last one. I didn't get opals there. So, yeah. I mean, the only map we're still waiting for is downtown, right? I hope we see more interesting quests. I mean, like, I say that though, but at the same time, how are you gonna make quests more interesting when maps are only yay big? Or yay complex? I do think, like, the first quest for Bunko in regards to, like, getting the hangar and activating the drone is like a good like first step in that though, because it is just a more interesting quest than a lot of the quests in the game currently. Like, let's be honest here. No one was praising Tarkov for their quest design. Don't take fucking... Don't look at Tarkov and be like, huh, the holy grail of extraction shooter quests. That is the wrong fucking take. Why is the scar of a burst setting? Anyway. I do like, yeah, like Lourdes' quest, like, if we're gonna have, like, collect X things, I do like it through the tale of Lourdes. I have Game Shift. I've played it. I will say though, like, don't get me wrong, Beta Decay is interesting to me and it was fun in regards to its test. I do feel like, I hope it's mostly a solo dev project, if not only a solo dev project, right? So best of luck to him. And like, he's been doing a good job marketing his own game, if he's the only one doing the marketing right. I would be a bit more concerned. I don't know. Naturally, you're free to do what the fuck you want, but at the same time, I can't help but feel the hype meter is being built up just a yay tad too much. I would love to be wrong and for it to be everything it seems people want it to be, but I'm afraid, like, it definitely feels like the hype meter of the game is a bit too much. No, it's a solo dev project. Cray has said Cray's the developer, at least that's his alias, multiple times on his Discord that, like, he's not interested in outside help at this current time, and, like, he won't be until post 1.0. He's, like, reiterated that multiple people have reached out, like, wanting to help, and he said no. Yeah, I mean, like, they did talk about, like, J-POC forever ago. Like, they had, like, a deformation system where, like, essentially, where, like, when you shot a unit, it would, like, not break apart per se, but it would deform and stuff like that. But it was just too taxing on a grand scale of things, at least the iteration that they had. I do think they can, like, there's definitely levels you can do between that and, like, what they currently have, 100%. You don't need to do full deformation. You could just do, like, you know, a slightly different depth model, yeah, or a few variations, right? I mean, it still does, but, like, I mean, it does Survivor, but, like, you can manage it. It's not as draconian as it used to be. There was a period where it was really aggressive. They've toned it down since then. But no, like, it's in a fine spot now. I don't generally care or bother either way, because I don't usually need things from vendors that care about rep at all. Man, I am low on ammo. Alright, Aramaki. Alright, shotgun. Oh yeah, no, this is the wrong approach. We want to start draining these 30,000 or 3,000, not 30,000. God, that'd be even worse. 3,000 small med kits. I think it probably works out better for no HUD for just topping off purposes. I mean, I think he is taking it slow, right? Like, he's been in dev for a while, and, like, he did, like, the playtest that's currently out for people who backed him on Patreon forever ago, which is the version I have, right? Which I could stream, but, like, there's not really much to show, to be honest. It's just a tech demo of different levels, right? He is, like, he is doing what I would think is the right approach, where he's building out systems first, and then he's gonna balloon out content. Like, he's figuring out how everything's worked together, and, like, he's, like, the way he is doing it makes a lot of sense to me personally. I mean, so the problem becomes Survivor, like, yeah, like, those are all feasible solutions. The thing is bandwidth, time, like, assets, resources, and all that stuff. Like, if you're gonna have, like, say for example, even if you just add, like, one damage state, right? And the problem is too, let's say, for example, we look at, like, a mech, right? And we have some armor deformation on a mech. Do we just have, like, one level of detail down where, like, you damage a mech for, like, 5k HP, and they go to the second damage state. But like, is it supposed to react accordingly to where it was shot at? Because that's more like it opens up the door to a lot of questions, and like it depends on like where do you eventually say no at, where like this is too far. And the problem is, right, is that users will usually keep saying you haven't gone far enough, not thinking of the actual dev time and cost and resources, right? They'll want you to do that deformation system while also running on their 20-year-old graphics card and 15-year-old CPU. And naturally that is hyperbole, but people out there like that exist. Now, in regards to, like, they have definitely chosen having a wider breadth of things as opposed to having fewer things but more fleshed out, which is perfectly fine, right? It's just a different philosophy. I personally prefer, I would think, less is more philosophies, in the sense of I would rather have fewer things but more well done. But I can't say that their approach is wrong, though, right? It's just a different approach. I mean, it's just a lot of polishing work too, right? Especially considering, like, they've said that they have so many units in the backlog that just are, like, waiting to be implemented. It just takes time to implement them. It's like, and the more work you add to each of those new units, or just in units in general, right, means the longer times before we can add more units. I do think, like, and that's where I think gamified elements come in perfectly fine, right? Where, like, gamifying things and making things like HUD indicators, or just like highlights, or just other ways of letting players know how certain mechanics work without having that be fully realized in a game via, like, high polish animations and modeling, I think is perfectly fair. God, 545 is so anemic now. Weirdly enough, right, like, in my perfect world, I would like a fight like that to go much quicker. Like, against Yoruska or Europa ball infantry, right? Like, Europa, like, just core infantry. I would much rather them be much more lethal, like, that fight be over in a few seconds, as opposed to being dragged on for 10 just through damage bars. And for them to deal lots of damage back to me too. I guess I will play devil's advocate myself, though. Like, I have been playing FPSs my entire life, and so, like, my reaction time is still pretty fucking good. So, like, it might be too draconian to, like, make them high damage and overreactive, because it might just absolutely obliterate people who are not tweakers. See you, Y7. No. Why are you aggroed? Is that just the AI bug? What the hell? I mean, it would reward positioning more, I think, right? Just being overly cautious. I don't think it would, like, It would indirectly, I think, hurt people who want to play slower, more methodical, and just like aren't twitchy, or like aren't quick acting when they start getting shot. So it would reinforce positioning for them better, or planning. I overall would like to see a version of the game like that, right? I feel like it would lean into its anti-shooter elements more. The biggest thing for me, actually, right? I want them to make mechs scary. Alright, bear with me here, everyone. I've said this before, but I want to raise it up again. Like, imagine if Mesa was like... It's the current version of Mesa, right? Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is, like, how units patrol on it, right? And let's say, for example, like, let's say Europa's mainly control of Ashen Mesa today. And so, like, there's occasional, like, maybe, like, between the entire map, like, 4 patrols of Europa infantry, right? Like, throughout the entire map. And, like, they're not dumb. They can see you if you're, like, if they have vision to you, they can see you. They might not care, maybe they do care, who's to say. But, like, if you come across them and they engage you, right? And you fight them, they might call in for support or, like, let the, you know, a local nearby medium mech that you're in the area, right? And so a medium mech kind of, you hear it off in the distance kind of whirring up or, like, you know, coming over to your location. And it might not even come over to your location, right? But you can just hear, like, off in the distance, like, a line of, like, high caliber machine, like, autocannon fire go off, right? And just in the immediate vicinity around you just turns into dust as 20mm just blankets the whole area around you from saturation fire. And, like, if it hits you, it might kill you or almost, like, immediately, it might not instantly kill you, but it might, you know, put the fear of God into you and, like, let you know, like, hey, you fuck up again. You know, there's a medium mech on standby right now. And it's off in the distance, right? Like, it should be almost like this looming figure off in the distance, where it's like, it's not something that you interact with, it's something that interacts with you when you get out of line. Because, like, and, like, that's how you make, like, the medium mechs insanely lethal without being draconian, right? Is that, like, all in all, they're not going to fight you. But if you start fucking with their faction and they're in the local AO, if they got called in for support, they might shoot a few rounds your way, and hey, if they kill you, good for them. If not, well, next time you do it again, they might add some more firepower to it. Like, the mere fact that it has a giant 20mm rotary cannon on its back that does not use to eviscerate entire squads in, like, the blink of an eye is baffling to me. It reminds me, most of you are Grimdark fans, right? You've all seen the fucking, the 40k Titan video, right? Where it's like the 40k Titan's like walking through like a giant landscape and like it gets shot at like by like something in the distance and it just like starts whirring and turns around and obliterates that entire direction. That's kind of how I feel the medium mechs or mech should be, right? Something that points in a direction and says, fuck you. Do I really want to do that? Let's just leave. Is it the fear of God or the fear of, like, fucking the gamified version of flies, Ranu? Because that's kind of how I feel about EODs and omniscient hunter killers. And, like, here's the thing too, right? They can't make it where it's like you trigger HKs and that means you instantly die. Because I think everyone can agree that's fucking stupid. So, like, right now we have this kind of weird bastardized version where it feels like they want that, but at the same time, like, they've toned it down to just merely be really fucking annoying. Like, getting shot at by 3 hunter killer EODs for the perpetuity of an entire map isn't like scary or difficult, it's just annoying. Hello, face. I mean, there are larger ones, right? We have Big Green. I have no idea how they're gonna do Big Green, to be honest. If they even can do Big Green. It's probably like not worth the effort. Like the maps they have just don't accommodate units that size, right? They could do it in the skybox or off map, that's perfectly fine. But at that point you're talking about just like ambiance as opposed to an actual factual unit. Which I'm okay with, don't get me wrong. And like going back to the whole medium mech thing too, about like making them rarer and making like a mech fight should be a big deal, right? There's always history lesson. There was a period, I think in World War, I think it was it 1 and 2, right? Where I believe the German Navy, like they had, I think it was the British Navy, like just navies in general, right? When they get cool big battleships, right? When dreadnoughts first came out, if I recall correctly, there was a giant reluctance to actually use them in battle to fight other dreadnoughts because no one wanted to have their cool toy destroyed. And I'm not saying medium mechs are exactly that, but in a way, right? Like, it feels like they are just thrown. Medium, like mech fights should be, I think, rarer, and lone mechs and AOs should be not common per se, but like it should be the much more normal as opposed to seeing mechs fight. Because like it would make the actual instances of mechs fighting a lot more interesting and cool because it's rare, right? And once again, like the rarity of them, right? And like not, it's hard to make mechs really powerful when there's 10, like, or sorry, 4 or 5 of them on a map at a time, like Mesa, right? Like Mesa, you could have 2 Euruskas, 2 Europans. Actually, Mesa's weird. Mesa, you can actually have like 3, 4, 5 Europa medium mechs sometimes. At most, there's only ever 2 Euruska ones, if I recall correctly. And then you can occasionally have Rat King. You can have probably between like 5 and 6 mechs on Mesa at one time. Which would be cool as like a one-off, but like the problem right now is the mechs just kiss and just don't do anything. But like if you up the lethality where the mechs kill each other a lot quicker, it would be cool. Alright, let's do some elephant. The T-14. Oh yeah, I love Laserpig's video on it. Elephant. That was always my big thing with War Thunder 2, right? Is like once they get into the modern day where they're having to go off like advertising specs as opposed to combat or actual specs because they're classified, feels kind of weird. Because it feels like you're not really, you know, these modern things that you're fighting or modern things that you have in game now, we don't really know their actual true specs because they're classified. I would need to go watch Armored Core. I've never been a big giant. I am much more of a Titanfall person than an Armored Core because I'm gonna probably speak some heresy to you guys right now. I really just don't care for anime, and Armored Core kind of feels like the anime of mechs. And that might not be controversial as I think it is, right? But I am basically saying that I just don't care for anime or anime adjacent things like Armored Core. Titanfall I fuck with though. It's so funny, Agent. There's gotta be, there has to be, like, Russia probably does this, right? Where like, yeah, let's go post factually wrong things about modern tanks on War Thunder forums. Get us our delicious information. We go over to the Scar. I mean, BattleTech and Mech Warrior and all that. I mean, I played BattleTech. I mean, I don't think I finished the campaign actually, but I did enjoy it. I mean, when I'm thinking, was there ever really a peer? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Is like I'm trying to think of like old Mech Warrior days, right? It's been so genuinely long since I played a Mech Warrior. Like, for the most part, there's not really melee in Mech Warrior, right, or BattleTech. It's just like, if you get to that point where that units are close, they should be dead. Need cigarettes. Oh, I've heard wonderful things about the War Thunder community. Apparently, like, yeah, I'm not saying that you can't be a casual fan of War Thunder, but it seems that, like, there's definitely, like, a gentleman's club in that game where, like, if you are a War Thunder player, you should be a War Thunder player. And, like, if you're a War Thunder content creator, you need to be a War Thunder content creator. And that's it. Like, it's so just, like, on or off for them. You can't enjoy other things. Chris, I haven't really been looking. I'm not really driven by, like, collectibles, and, like, I'll find it eventually and it'll be novel. I'm not gonna do some, much like things like grind, I'm not gonna arbitrarily grind just to see some bauble or trinket or just something that's, like, it's gonna look cool, and it's gonna probably have a cool animation here and there, but, like, I know for a fact, just in my heart of hearts, it's just gonna be another reskinned Orgamech. Like, it's gonna be like the Scooby-Doo meme, right? Where you lift off the the mask of Meat Patty guy, and it's just gonna be Captain Chin, and you take off that mask, and it's just gonna be fucking Orgamech right underneath that. It's just all Orgamechs. It's just like the guntism people, right? You have the tankism too. It's just nerds doing nerd things, which is perfectly fine, right? It's just like the very stereotypical, like, nerd thing of what, well, actually, you see, the T-36 was actually made out of stellinium, which is immune to all rounds, and it won the Soviets the war. You see, the T-36 has angled its armor so effectively, it could bounce 88mm high-velocity rounds at a 35-degree angle. Hey, Captain. I'm not gonna lie, me being congested probably helps out my nerd voice a lot more. I can really channel the inner nasality. It's probably not a fucking word. I now know my cheat whenever I need to get my nerd voice going on. Just get sick 4 days before. If I ever do the nerd voice again, Just let me know I'm doing it wrong if I'm not previously sick. Hey, Captain. Alright, I'm here to deliver you some cigarettes, friend. Because clearly you need some cigarettes. Oh, it's always wild when people think doxing's is an okay thing to do. You want some cigarettes too? Everyone gets cigarettes. No? Alright. Yeah, Josh, they have been doing like optimizations like every single patch. I actually, Survivor, I really do like the idea of like enemy NPCs in multiplayer games like that, because it just makes the like the MP games feel much more like lived in, right? To have just like those NPCs in like multiplayer fights, it was super cool. I overall just didn't enjoy Titanfall's multiplayer because it just was like, well, like, it was very skill-based, right? And I'm just like, I just do not have the time or care to get this good at this game with movement. But it's cool that it had the possibility for that for players to actually like lead into, right? I just really do like their NPCs in multiplayer fights. Yeah, it does help with that too, right? It gives like people who aren't like great at PvP ways to do things in multiplayer matches. It does make you feel lived into. It also just gives you alternate objectives also, as opposed to just like, you know, doing X, Y, and Z. It does also, like, I think a big thing also is that there's always this issue in multiplayer games, like, I will say it happened in Battlefield all the time too, right? No one wants to, like, personally, I'm okay sitting on a back flag to prevent, like, a ninja cap or, like, people from flanking and taking the site. But for the most part, people don't generally want to, like, sit and potentially do nothing for long periods just to defend and win a map, right? And that's perfectly fine, I can't fault them for that. But, like, adding NPCs that, like, help keep those points under contention or held kind of alleviates that pain point, I think. It gives people who want to defend something to do, as they can defend, like, against NPCs who are always pushing, and occasionally the occasional player. Which is just nice to have.
Fresh and hard. Ooh. But at least we're headed home.
I mean, yeah, Survivor, there was definitely a period where I was like, yeah, I could do like reaction shots very well. It wasn't ever in Titanfall, but like, I used to do like some pretty high level, back in like COD like 1 and 2, I would do like some sniping. That was kind of like that, right? I wouldn't say it was like MLG trick shots, but it was like, there was a few like semi-realistic mods for United Offensive and then 2, and I would play competitive matches of that. Oh, and back in the days, Counter-Strike Source, so much scout knives. So much scout knives. If you're unfamiliar with scout knives in Counter-Strike terms, the scout is a sniper rifle in Counter-Strike, it's not like the Op, right, where it's a one-shot kill. The Scout is only a one-shot headshot kill, and it's a weapon that's like insanely light, right? Like most guns in Counter-Strike make you slower. The Scout either does nothing to your movement or makes you faster, it depends. So like in Scout Knives, right, it's usually like, you know, sometimes you play it with low gravity, sometimes you don't, but like it's literally just like an arena shooter where it's just like, yeah, you're just basically scouting people from across the map and just like, you know, doing trick shots, and it's like just fun. Unfortunately, like the Counter-Strike version nowadays is just like a former shadow of that. Community servers, man, community servers are the fucking best. I haven't really been trying Fruit Bar. The more, and the weirdest thing, like, I'm not faulting you for bringing it up, but like, it's definitely one of those things where I'm just like, oh, I'm just not, I don't really care about Kolkata. Unless it's like a fucking cold cut. I mean, they still exist, right? You just have to do it. You have to do it from like, yeah, they have to do it from outside the game, which is for Valve to like, yeah, not focus on community servers for their fucking game that's always had community servers. That's the reason why it's still around, is because of community servers. Oh my god. Like I'm a Valve fanboy for the most part, but like I definitely think Gabe's basically signed off at this point, and we're just waiting for the dark days ahead. The time for Babel. Bell. Sure, let's go do a Babel. I'm kind of waiting for Valve's villain arc, because I think Gaben's almost just, Gaben does whatever the fuck he wants, which is he deserves it, right? He's done a lot, so he's basically in pseudo retirement. But yeah, Counter-Strike 2 just de-emphasizing community servers, it being one of the most important aspects of keeping those games alive for the longest time. Counter-Strike Source was not big. Like, it had a pro scene, don't get me wrong, but its pro scene was not very big. The thing that kept Counter-Strike and Source alive, and I guess 1.6 alive, I guess people were still playing 1.6 when it was Source, right? But it was all community servers. And I guess the real reason why it blew up for Go, though, right, was gambling. I mean, all the battles are LAN battles. I mean, like, every tournament's a LAN. It's very rare you have strictly online tournaments nowadays. Or really any. Like, you always, for like lower circuit CS stuff, yeah, online tournaments, right? Because like teams can't afford to go out to LANs because it's expensive. But like, once you get to the pro level, right, it's all LANs. Agent, Agent, are you over 30? Are you over 20? I'm trying to get a gauge on how long you've been waiting for Half-Life 3. I'm trying to see how, like, empty your hopium tank is. Because it's coming. People have been saying that for fucking 13 plus years. People have been saying, yeah, Half-Life 3 or Half-Life 2 Episode 3, it's coming. Just you wait. It's literally been over fucking 13 years. It's probably been 50. I was going to say 3 because I know it's been more than 13 years. No, for real, this time, trust. Were you one of the yacht watchers during the Game Awards, or during what's it called, Summer Game Fest? They're like, Gaben's gonna show up, trust me. He's gonna announce Half-Life 3, trust me. Yeah, we got a fucking yacht watcher in chat. Here's the thing though too, like it's been so long, the writer of actual Half-Life 2 Episode 3 or Half-Life 3, his NDA's been over for such a long time now. They've already spoiled what the game was going to be. Kinda reminds me of Survivor. I wonder how Slipgate's doing. Man, it's always just so crazy how some people can be so tone deaf of the current, like, fucking system. God, just thinking, I'm just like internally cringing again thinking about Slipgate's fucking Summer Game Fest fucking announcement. Fuck off. Oh no, I mean, no, yeah, 100%. Yeah, he spoiled it, but it was being rewritten because, yeah, Half-Life Alyx changed the story. Correct. I mean, yeah, once Alyx came out, you know, anything relevant to the previous version of Half-Life 2 Episode 3 is no longer relevant, correct? Honestly, I'll say my least favorite unit archetype. I'm gonna probably just say the Orgamech. Thanks, SpongeBob. We now currently have 3. What the hell? That's gotta be fixed. That's not great. Can't see. Anyway, having 3 units with the Orgamech moveset and they're all dysfunctional, not great look. Like, it's really just not a great look. The chopper is rare enough where I kind of give it a pass. Yeah, Survivor, that might happen occasionally. I didn't see anything, but it might do that occasionally. The buffering YouTube does should make it not terrible, hopefully. Like, Michael, I would feel different if they added 2 new aerial units in that use the chopper's broken movement just like, you know, the Orgamech units do, right? I wonder if I can add some more buffering, actually. I could maybe fix it, or maybe plan around it a bit better. I can, if I change the input delay, I think, on YouTube to be a bit longer, it'll have more time to buffer. It means me talking to you guys is a bit more delayed, but I think that's probably what's gonna need to happen, I think, just because of Spectrum. It provides a bit more overhead room, I think, for just, like, brief interruptions. Hey, Delta. No, the Orgamech is this is Lordos, right? Plus, you know, Lordos companions. Sir, why are you in the way? And the problem is that the Orgamech does it. The Orgamech has his moveset. The Shield Officer uses a lot of the Orgamech moveset. And then Kolketa, I haven't seen Kolketa, so I can't say if he 100% does. Has someone who's seen Kolketa, does he use most of Orgamech's moveset? They have plus a few special moves. They just go over here, don't mind me. So I'm mainly talking about most of their animations, right, J-Poc? So like the walking forward, the slam attack animations, like the punches and so on and so forth, like just like the Hulk walk. The Shield Officer and the Orgamech share that moveset. Like, have you ever seen? Hold on. Like, you ever had the Orgamech follow you around and just walks toward you menacingly? Just like at a very moderate pace. Survivor, yeah, I can't say for a fact that they actually have the moveset. It just looks like they probably do, considering what we've seen with the Shield Officer. We haven't had a new unit in the game yet, I don't think, that hasn't used the moveset of a prior unit. Kolketa, Calcutta, Capicola, Salami. We're gonna get an entire, you know, arsenal, entire repertoire of Euruscan cold guts. But no, like having 3 different units that all kind of have the same base moveset, along with just slight variations that add only a little bit of flair and not that much utility, is just kind of I guess let's go grind Scrapyard. All right, character. So the big thing we're looking for here, like if we're gonna try and get Mr. Calcutta, Mr. Kolketa, Mr. Salami, Mr. Capricola to spawn, we're just gonna see to basically grind this map. We could find him on others, it's just so much harder to do it on others. I'm getting lots of cyborgs with this, so I don't have a lot of shotgun ammo. Maybe this is probably a good idea, actually. Painless and like a little bit of shotgun ammo. That works. I mean, I know in the trailer, right? He looks like he has all that shit.
Maintain spacing. The sector ahead contains explosives.
All right. We go ahead and start the extract. Get a silencer off Aramaki immediately and start using it. Just don't play the game without a silencer unless you really want to be a masochist. Like, that's the biggest thing, is just get a silencer. Like, the only way for you to deal with obstacles is generally shooting them, currently. So, like, having a silencer means you can kind of control aggro better. They've made it a lot worse now, but it still helps out a lot. Just head into the map. We don't need to wait. So we're just looking for a codex on the ground, really. What the hell is that? Oh, those are backpacks from dead bodies. Yeah, I mean, like, it used to be a lot better than before. They've definitely... They didn't necessarily gut silencers, they just made units that you shot attract more or more friends nearby. Oh, well... I mean... But no, like, the shield officer moves exactly like that too, right? The only difference between the shield officer and the Orgamech is the shield officer can do a Hulk jump, apparently. That's really about it. And so they're more prone to teleport behind you because of the Hulk jump. I wouldn't call it a Mario jump. I would definitely call it a Hulk jump. I'm not sure if Mario can throw themselves into the stratosphere.
Too many threats to track. We should return to a safe area.
Explosives. I don't see anything here. Technically speaking, like, once we get used to the spawns too, we might be able to tell, like, hey. Anyway. No. 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 I said no. See, that's why I don't like the Orgamech moveset, right? Like... it's just silly. I'm not sure how... I mean... Can you kind of define what you mean by, like, tunneling and how that would, like, interact with the player? Would they just pop up around you? Alright, and that's why I picked up Gun because we knew still that's gonna happen a lot. What am I... Okay, I don't really want to, like, risk losing things I don't want to lose. What do I have? Oh. Huh. Good enough. No, I just don't like how they've done units like the Orgamech. It doesn't feel cinematic, it just feels cheap. Alright.
Unit 7 and 6 reporting clear skies.
I really wish we could tell. So, like, that's the container in the cubby. There's a few... Oh, sorry, no. That's the tank room. The one that's, like, all the way over there. The far side. That's the tank room. What's that big... That's another container up there. I'm trying to basically plan. That's, like, the long hallway. I'm basically trying to get to the point where I can tell, like, if there's anything weird when I start spawning to the map. Wait, it looks like just wait, it just looks like a like an actual, like a bag like this. That's cancer. that. What is this? Guys, it's 9mm. It's... Not the fucking bullets. Apparently half of them just went to the fucking moon. Fruit bar, I have no idea. Speaking of Q&As, I'm kind of like, what's up with the last Q&A? Didn't they close questions like over a month ago for it? What the hell's up with that? Like, sorry not sorry, is it really that hard to like take an hour out of your day to record a video answering questions? Like, I get it if they're like really heavy on like doing their work right now, but an hour out of your day in a month just to talk to your community doesn't seem like a ludicrous ask. I don't see, I mean, there's stuff around. Yeah, it has been. I mean, I wouldn't... The CM is no longer with the company, right? But, like, it wasn't... I don't even think it was... yeah, it's just weird. Hello. Don't make me do this. Just go quietly into the night. Shh, it'll be alright. No. That's always so weird. When I was doing stuff with Shiro had great communication. I would actually say, I wouldn't call Shiro the gold standard though, because Shiro was like so forthcoming. It was actually kind of not weird, underappreciated. It was just like, this can't be the norm. Are you aggro to me, or are you just like arbitrarily shooting me? Please no. These are all your Ruskins mostly we're fighting right now. We're not fighting, we're just avoiding. And apparently, I don't know, what the fuck did we do to deserve... Whatever, we're leaving. So thoroughly sticky now. I think they shed it. I think that was more of the person posting it just not being familiar with Discord. And like how you talk to, like how you're not how you talk to people, but like how you like communicate to your community on Discord. That way I would easily brush off like the weird shadow drop of the previous Q&A as more of just like a, hey, this guy is just new to this. This is perfectly fine. It's not like them just ignoring the community or just like, don't look at this. No, but Hyper, I do agree. And like, I'm not saying like they need to be like sure, it wasn't like talking constantly with players on Discord, but like an hour out of your monthly schedule should be okay. I don't feel like that's an unreasonable take, right? Like, if I only, back in my previous job, if I only had to spend an hour on meetings a month to explain what I'm currently working on, I would be elated. You ever heard of stand-ups? Where that shit's fucking daily. I can probably silence this also, I believe, right? I would like to make this thoroughly clear too. This is not an endorsement of this fucking gun. This is because I have so many of them that it's okay if I lose like 30. Please do yourself a favor and do not use this gun. I'm not necessarily Rocket on that front. I'm not saying, like, yeah, like there's different levels, right? I personally think the bar should be just like low, just because, yeah, the problem is, Rocket Dog, if they play with the community for fun, people are gonna take that and weaponize it, right? Like, I mean, I memed on them too, right? It was like, remember, like, so, I'm not saying Blizzard doesn't get what they deserve. Or, like, so Diablo 4, they did, like, some PR work or some, like, marketing videos where they showed, like, some people playing it, some of the art people playing it, and, like, they got bashed. Like, they got thoroughly fucking bashed. Like, look at the devs, they don't even know how to play their own game. It's the same thing why, like, I'm okay with them not putting out a roadmap. I mean, well, Rocket, you don't know them personally though, right? The only thing you've seen from them is their community facing, like, I don't want to say marketing, right? But like, their community facing facades. I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm just saying that, like, yeah, they might not like having to put on that mask constantly, right? It might not be something they enjoy. Oh no, I mean, yeah, we're just, personally for me, I just think the lowest bar of just like, hey, once a month, like, take an hour out of your day to do a Q&A. Like, that seems like such a low bar where it's like, asking the devs to play at a game with players or other, like, with me, you, anyone, right? That, like, invites challenges, concerns, like, it gives them easy ways of saying no, right? But coming from an angle of, like, hey, an hour out of your day in a month is such a low bar, them saying no to that kind of is, like, almost in a way, a red flag, right? Because it's such an, like, easy ask, right? It doesn't, it's so, how can you not take an hour? Oh my god, fucking Cyborg, stop fucking spotting. Did I really just go through, like, 300 9mm rounds to kill, like, how many cyborgs? I mean, I'm overthinking it because it needs to be overthought, because, like, we don't have that level right now, even though it's been requested since September of last year. And so, like, doing things that have high friction aren't going to get done. You have to make it as inviting and easy as possible, right? If you give them any way to find a way to say no, history has shown they're going to do that, right? Yeah, it's kind of hard when the APC-9 Pro jump. Oh god, don't even get started on guns. God, the guns in this game. Yeah, I mean, like, naturally, yeah, it'd be cool if they did.
One day, they won't need us.
And actually, Michael, you'd be surprised. The headshot multiplier on Cyborgs has been basically gutted over and over again. Are we to the point where it's now like 3 or 4 headshots with an RPK? I think it's now 2 with a SCAR. Actually, you know what? I have a fucking idea. I have a big, beautiful idea. I mean, Hyper, yes. In a magical, perfect world, abso-fucking-lutely. Lowest. I am going for the lowest achievable bar first, so we can maybe build up to that. Alright, I have a different idea. Hold on.
Return to normal activities.
Hey Jacob, I'm doing well, thanks.
10, 6.
I have an idea. I can solve this problem. I can solve the cyborg problem. I can fix this. Where are you? There we go. I can fix this. Who needs bridges anyway? Certainly not I. Now this will make poor old Ashen Mesa unplayable for the rest of the day, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Perhaps today is the day.
And you're like, what are you doing? I'm gonna go fucking blow up a bridge to stop Cyborg spawning, so we can actually fucking play Scrapyard without having to bring in 5,000 rounds of shotgun shells. It most certainly is a thing. Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it. Because I'm sick of these goddamn cyborgs spawning on Scrapyard Extract. No, so the bridge on Ashen Mesa, when you blow it up, it affects 2 maps. It affects Scrapyard, and it affects this map. And I can't recall, I don't think it stops Cyborgs this map either. But what it does is it stops Cyborgs from spawning on Scrapyard. Now, the downside is, because during the time where it's active, this map will always have a shield officer on it. So it basically makes this map not virtually unplayable, just kind of unplayable. Yeah, it's a cool, like, it's a cool boon, and like it is neat. The explosion VFX is fine. They'll probably make it better in the future. But no. It's just that. Please don't shoot me. Let me turn that on for this because I won't be able to tell otherwise.
Threat removal imminent.
I think it's right here. Yep. There's one. There's 2. Right. There, we're good. Yeah, but you still have the cyborg bombers though, right? Which shouldn't care about, like, how that works at all. Oh, gotcha. I wasn't really planning on surviving, but...
Threat removal imminent.
The centipede, you mean the bridge? Got sound effects now, at least. Can you see it down there at all, or no? Nope, just the black void. I wonder if it's like Indiana Jones, where the bridge is still here. And we got some sand. So JPOC, you know the radar towers? The radar towers, when you activate them, they'll tell you active effects on the map that you're on. I mean, like, okay, shield officer, what the hell did that cyborg ever do to you? Aren't you guys friends? Right, bye guys.
Safe and sound.
So I have the towers activated on Mesa, so you can see it here. Oh boy, I'm rich. So if I go to regions now, you can see that infrastructure failure in Action Mesa, cyborg units isolated, which also affects Scrapyard, but because we don't have the towers unlocked right now on Scrapyard, we can't see it. Alright, so that should mean that we no longer have cyborgs on Scrapyard. Which means we still might get drones, I think, but that's a separate thing entirely. Hey Blood, how's it going?
Today is the day.
Yeah, no cyborgs. That's gnarly. Just this weird shading. Yeah, I mean, personally, I do think having the cutscene play every time he spawns, if they lean on that anymore, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna get old. Like, it's novel enough right now and rare enough that's it's probably perfectly fine. But like, if their idea of is making cool units like that have cutscenes when they spawn in, that ain't it, Chief. Explosives down there. Yeah, basically the first time. It really should not be spammed. Like, don't get me wrong, the cutscene is cool, yeah, like, seeing it the first time, like, this is awesome. Seeing it the 100th time, you're like, why is this game still showing me this cutscene? Considering the feedback, though, Jacob, they've gotten over locking some content behind a group wall, I'm hesitant to believe they'll do it again, but maybe they will, who knows? I don't think we got anything here. Doesn't look like it. See how peaceful this map is now? Isn't this swell? I mean, hot take. No blood. Hot take, I just don't think the railgun should just be a thing. Listen, everyone. We're playing, allegedly, an anti-shooter whose only access in dealing with anything in the game is via shooting. So, yeah. My point is that, like, the railgun was added in to incentivize group play, but also to give people a way to interact with unkillables, and honestly, that probably shouldn't have been the first way to interact with unkillables. It should have been things like countermeasures, or ways of, like, you know, getting out of a sync kill and stuff like that, right? Not, you know, here's a weapon to turn unkillables into killables just in this weird convoluted way that makes you confused on why they're unkillable.
Maintain spacing. The sector ahead contains explosives.
Alright, let's continue looking on for our little thing. It does know 183, 100%. It feels like it's paying homage to Kojima. It feels like the Matt Mikkelson's, like, yeah, cutscene with his Spec Ops. I don't want to call it derivative, but it could just be a tribute, though, to be honest. It once again just wants me to say it ain't that type of game. So the way I kind of mentally think, the problem is this, right? For me to go into the co-op headspace, it depends on, like, the way I would approach co-op in the first place is I would redesign how they do co-op in this game, to be quite frank. Hey, Jay. And that's getting down a very large rabbit hole. The container up there it is, yeah. Well, it's not, I don't mind co-op, it's just more in the sense of, like, when I'm thinking about co-op in this game currently, right, there's nothing that really, like, with how the game is currently set up, right? We have people, we have like a group, or we have scavengers going to war zones basically to like scavenge around the periphery. And it feels like you wouldn't want to have, like, it feels like being in small groups or solo is like to your advantage there, right, for stealth purposes, right? It feels like if you would want to group in a game like this, or like in the current design of the game, it is to shoot more, to do more violent things that kind of lean against being an anti-shooter. So it's just more like the framework of the game. I can't see how they wouldn't just make co-op about shooting more. You don't usually see a lot of co-op stealth games, right? You see a lot of co-op shooter games. I mean, even like, what's it called? Deep Rock Galactic, right? Like, it's a co-op game, right? About like mining. Well, mining, but it's a lot of shooting with each other, right? Jay, no, I'm not, no, that's not what I said. I can't get into too much about this because it would get into things that I'm just not really wanting or can share. Yeah, GTFO is a good example, right? And even then though, right, like it is you trusting those people to not fuck you over and mess up. But like when it does push comes to shove, you do want them because your ammo economy is so limited in GTFO at having those extra players. And like I think a big part of GTFO too, right? I don't think it scales the enemy. Does it scale enemies by players? I remember GTFO, right? When you play solo, it does not. GTFO feels like it's designed for a group first gameplay that you can solo, but the game doesn't pull you any punches for you playing solo, right? Well, this game is, it feels like it's more designed for solo, and then like co-op is tacked on. It's been a while since I played GTFO, right? But like, GTFO, like if you play solo, you're just gonna be at a strict disadvantage because it does. I don't think the game scales back for you being solo. Maps are big enough for that. It's also peer-to-peer, so that would never work.
Unit 7 and 6 reporting clear skies ahead.
Now, this map might actually be empty. The only thing that might change that is the dog. If I recall correctly, like, and the dog's not 100% spawn this map might actually be empty. The only thing that might not be, or might be here is the dog. Yeah, the dog is here. On nighttime, this map, the only things that spawn are cyborgs and the dog. No, because remember, we blew up the bridge. Why are you running? Oh, is it attracted to the thing? Yeah, it's angry at the thing is summoning it. I mean, cyborgs can be here too, right? Just because we have the you know, bridge destroyed. I mean, we'll just go around the dog. Remember, we're above 2k HP. We're a gunhead. We simply just walk around the dog. I mean, there's a shot at double shots, like what double shots, which like one shots us by double hitting us, but like we're not gonna plan around that. I mean, you know, there's not a big cost if I die. There's a reason why we're playing Gunhead back to back, because there's just high HP pool and just don't care about dying. We'll get a new Gunhead. Yeah, I don't see shit. Yeah, looks like we're good. That's a gotcha container. Dog can. It just depends if you're below the threshold or not. The dog has had a tendency recently to double shot. Essentially, like, traditionally the dog will one-shot anyone below 2k HP. And if it swipes you first, it traditionally has a cooldown before it can one-shot you. But recently that hasn't been the case, so there's been instances where it will swipe at you, get you below 2k, and then instantly trigger its one-shot kill.
Keeping humans alive.
You can certainly attempt to pet the dog. Don't worry, we'll eventually see, Captain, or I guess, Cold Cuts? We'll call them Cold Cuts. We'll see Cold Cuts eventually. Or maybe we won't. Can you elaborate, Game Shift? Are you just saying because they added the 2 units they added were both Euruscan? I'll give you a better way to frame that. Or at least my preferred way of framing that. They added 2 new units who use basically the same moveset as one of their existing units. So I wouldn't say preferential, just more, oh hey, we can easily add these new units in, and it satisfies the wants for a new unit, but it's not as high work for us to do so. Alright, I don't see water container, containers. I think we're good to leave. I don't see... That's a lockbox. That's another lockbox right there. Containers. I think those are both lockboxes also. I mean, I wouldn't say like that would be my approach per se, but like, I don't think it's because they like really like Eurusca, it's just because it was easy inclusions for them. Nothing on the codex yet, no. We're just doing some grindy scrapyard stuff. Man, I mean, considering how long it took us to get animations for weapon reloads, Rocket, I would be so thoroughly surprised if we ever got a full functional prone. Because think of all the animation work. You have to do all of the movement while prone, you have to do every single character while prone, you have to do the reloads while prone, you have to do XYZ while prone. Oh yeah. And it took them, I mean like, It wasn't even March, it was like May. So it took from September to May to actually get to the point where like women animations were in a decent spot.
Maintain spacing. The sector ahead contains explosives.
Yes. I usually prefer not to get myself hyped into hypotheticals just because, hey Vinny, just because it's just setting yourself up for disappointment. But you certainly do you. Thanks, Vinny. Fucking Pavlov's dog over here. Anytime Vinny shows up, he knows what he knows what he's done. That's a gotcha, right? Yeah. I appreciate the support, Vinny. I mean, that's a vast simplification, right? Like, yeah, mocap has gotten cheaper and more accessible for most companies to do. But keep in mind, Fundog is not a centralized company. So, like, I don't know, it's a lot, right? I'm not saying they can't do mocap, but I'm also saying, like, it's just, yeah. It is true, too. Having 6 different skeletons for different characters, right? See ya, Survivor. Thanks for stopping by. Alright. No cold cuts, Codex shit. One day. And this is typically, like, I'm gonna keep probably doing it for a bit. Just because we've already, you know, we've already committed to this. I didn't do my codex or my exit yet. But this is why, like, I've just never really pursued this, because this is not interesting to me at all, right? In regards to, like, oh, hey, here's a gameplay loop where, like, if you want to go find cold cuts, you just need to grind a map until you get RNG'd, you know, to find a codex. Because it's so unimportant to me, because I've never seen him, and he doesn't really matter. Cold cuts, Kolkata, Calcutta, Capricola. His name is whatever I want him to be. Because ultimately it doesn't fucking matter. Meat patty man. Salami. I don't mind having rare items in the game. It's just here's the thing. If I was the person putting this into the game, I wouldn't make it like a central theme of the patch is it's this character we're adding in, right? It would be something I would add in and like not mention at all, or like on a single line of the patch notes, mention it being added, right? Because it shouldn't be like front and center when it's like a rare oddity that you would ever encounter them. Like, come see this giant cool new unit we added to the game. By the way, there's like a good chance you will never see him while you're playing the game. But he's in the patch. He's the face of the patch. Hey, Blue. It's I don't mind how they implemented him, but like having him be the poster boy of the patch feels a bit weird.
Unit 7 and 6 reporting clear skies ahead.
Do stuff like what? I mean, I don't mind if they do like a line, right? Because that like the whole line thing, like a single line in the patch notes gives you the idea of like, hey, cool, they added something, but like it's not supposed to be front and center or big. It's supposed to be kind of Easter eggy or small or rare, right? Like, imagine if like back in the day Tarkov hyped up like adding LEDXs to the game, and they like made front and center, this is the LEDX patch, and they made their like their current thumbnail for the game a LEDX. And they're like, well, everyone wants to go to LEDX now, right? Because the game's hyping it up. That like, look at this fucking item in the game. It's a LEDX. It's worth a lot of money. Go find it. And then people realize that, oh, this is kind of a grind, kind of just repetitive grindiness to get this LEDX. It's like, yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's like, well, yeah, I guess. But why is it you made your whole patch front and center about just like a grind for an expensive item? Yes. I don't know. Yeah, I'm familiar with melee canceling. Yeah, I don't bother doing it on stream though. Ever since they added the ability to swap guns, we'll swap guns now. It's not really that important anymore. All right, let's see if it's here. Maybe. It's hard to tell. Yeah, so just like the only reason, I mean, it's probably them just exploring solutions. In a way, I can kind of see the whole thing now, the meeting happening, right? Like, meeting happening in the past. Like, we want to add Kolketa to the game. And, like, he's going to be unkillable, right? It's like, yeah. Well, people are getting really pissed off if we keep adding unkillable units to the game and having codexes behind them. But he's like, what if we just make the codex the thing that spawns Kolketa? Got it. Understood. Yeah, it's Orgamech. So it kind of just feels like they just didn't want to add a unit into the game that's unkillable and had a codex behind it. So they just made the codex not behind the unit and just made the codex spawn the unit when you picked it up. Which is novel. I will say, like, despite it probably not working all that well, like, in regards to the maps and just how the pacing works, the idea of, like, actually picking up something of that value and having an appropriate response is weirdly actually proportional. Now, it being in the middle of fucking nowhere sometimes, apparently, doesn't feel very right, but, like, picking up big codex, getting HK, or did he just fall over and die? No, whatever. Feels right. Fucking snipers. My God. Yeah, the only problem though is just like the map's current design doesn't really... It kind of just runs into the problem with HK Omniscience.
7 and 6.
Like, and that's the whole thing with like lethality too, right? This is coming back to a previous conversation a while ago on stream, right, where we were talking about like having medium mechs or just like having units have high lethality and that being their balancing lever, right? Not their unkillableness or tankiness, right? But like their lethality. But making a unit like an Orgamech or making a unit that has Omniscience like an HK have that level of lethality gets really unfair really quickly and really unfun really quickly. Because at the end of the day, it is supposed to be a game, right? It's supposed to be fun. And there can be masochism, don't get me wrong. Like, there are plenty of games that masochists enjoy. But it doesn't need to be pure masochism.
Perhaps today is the day.
Alright, Mr. Cold Guts. Will you be here today? I think those are smoke dischargers, if I recall correctly. Oh, I need to go take a look again. Yeah, that's the problem with Omniscience, right? If you have like the HK's Omniscience plus like high lethality, it just turns like you pick up a codex, the HK spawns, and you immediately get dusted. I ain't seeing shit. I mean, there's something right there though. That looks like explosives though. Lockbox, explosives. Actually, is that... Yeah, it looks like explosives to me. Maybe water? Might be water, actually. Yeah, water. Yeah, maybe they'll do multi-raid. That would be a way of like actually having hunter killers like be able to tone down their omniscience because they can maybe hunt you through a few different maps at the same time. Why would I pray at a false idol? That sounds like religious mumbo jumbo. What the? What? It says container. But I'm guessing it's a... I can't pick it up. It's probably just a destroyed gut. Leave me alone. I'm exploring, you fucking fiends. No, it's probably just a broken gun that doesn't like have a right tag, I guess. I can probably just go bring on a medium equipment runner, actually. I mean, I think I have a few large item slots. I don't know why. All right, let's actually bring in you. Slightly different rig, but has weapon slots also if we find any of those. Yeah, the ragdolls aren't great. It's this weird impulsy stuff. Like they just like reacting to an explosion as opposed to an actual like weapon. And yeah, in regards to ambiance, right? Yeah, there's lots of maps that just don't have a lot of ambiance going on outside of the map, so it feels kind of like, considering we're in a war zone, there's not a lot happening. Which is crazy. Like if you look at, like, for example, Babel, right? Babel feels like, you know, like considering all of the shit going on in Babel in a small local area, you feel like that would be everywhere nearby. Why is it only happening in this, like, one little small area? You should be hearing gunfights constantly around you, even if they're off map. Well, free part if we find it. Lockbox. So this is in water. Explosives. Lockbox in water. It's not looking great, y'all. So that's probably gonna be a weapon there, I'm guessing? Container? Yeah, it's just a saw. You heard nothing. Beep boop. Yeah, I'm trying to leave. I just want to find Mr. Meatman. Is that so much to ask?
I am the weapon. Deciding to use it is a job for you humans.
Alright, we're gonna give this map, I think, 2 more runs before I need to go, like, actually take a murder break. I mean, there's probably, like, no shot they don't add him to other stuff in the future. That or just, like, add a quest in that actually spawns an actual codex for you to pick up.
Clear skies ahead.
Like, I doubt this is their final iteration of, like... This feels wasteful on their part, too, right? So I doubt this is the final version of him we're seeing. out of fucking bullets already? Or sorry, shells. Are we good? I think so. Hi, Mr. Orgamech. I might just need to leave here. It's kind of a curse spawn. There's a gun over there, though. So is this water? What's that over there? That's probably on the... Oh, don't come up the stairs. Don't come up the stairs. I think that's just on the tanks, right? Probably just on the tanks. Yeah, I think we're good. And we'll give it a gander.
Deleting threats in order of priority.
But that's for that's because you're an anti-shooter, right? You're supposed to be using all your ammo like that. It's only there if you really need it. The it's not a shooter, it's an anti-shooter. They gave you bullets to shoot, that means you would use them to solve problems. And we can't have that. And with that, I hope you enjoy your 5,000 rounds of 5.45. Use them responsibly. It reminds me though, you're talking about like, you know, the head ammo skill, right? And just like character skills being upgraded hopefully eventually. That was a mistake, I didn't actually do this already. They talked about like eventually overhauling them in the future, I guess. That got me thinking about too, right? Of like, I think this patch, right? If they're keeping with the monthly cadence, this should be like one of the first patches we might see with progression touch-ups, maybe? Knock on wood? I'm not very hopeful, but, you know. Alright, one more before I go to like a map like Babel and go kill things. We could kill things on Scrapyard too, but that's really not the point. It's more just about trying to find the Cold Cuts library. Alright, start the extract.
Reporting clear skies ahead.
I mean, it's been clearing up, yeah. If you ever have had congestion, this is generally how it works. At least for me. Is it's bad in the morning, it gets better as the day goes on, and then you dread going to sleep because you know it's going to come back in the morning. And weirdly enough, I started the stream and my right side was like totally congested, and now it's moved over to my left side. Congestion's great. Alright, Lockbox. Nope, nope. Kind of feeling... That looks a little different. Hold on, let's go over there. Explosives, right? Nope, yeah, just a lockbox. No, no, no. It doesn't... This is me on, like... Thursday was flu, and, like, it's Monday. So, like... I don't need to get all drugged up just because I have a little bit of post-flu congestion. It clears up pretty quickly for me on its own. We're just kind of on day, you know, 3 post-flu. Day 4 if you want to include the flu. Alright, you fucking pharmacists. Calm down.
Time for repairs and rearmaments.
Alright, time for murder break. This is exactly why I'm just not interested in Kolkata at all. Mr. Cold Cuts. Alright, let's go play... Let's do some Bagmon. Bagmon. Backup shotgun. Lots of meds. I think I've regained all of the small first aid kits I've used. We're gonna grab a jump. Any quests? I won't be refreshing. It kind of depends. Like, technically, yeah, you would call like a burger like a patty, yeah. But if it's like, it's always referred to as a patty, yeah.
The drill. Stick together and stay alive.
My god, he was floating. Catharsis! I want you guys to all understand that we're firing so many rounds of Nitro Express. Hold on, it's the same thing. I would honestly say this has less recoil than the APC-9 Pro. I mean, like, you can call it like a smash burger. It depends on how thin your patty is, right? But like, technically, no matter what, it's always going to be referred to as a patty. Just different types of, like, you know, how you prepare it. If it's a smash burger, just like a regular meat patty. Typically speaking, if you have like a very thin patty that you like, you know, make, you know, big and thin, it's usually a smash burger. It looked so cool and until it decided to play Pong off the wall. And now it's just, no, there it goes. It needs to go back to its people. Oh, alright. See, at least when the chopper does weird things, it entertains me, unlike the Orgamech. Fuck off. So once again, we have another grotesque example of why... Alright, bear with me, everyone. I'm of the firm opinion that we as a collective group of players should come together and make a petition removing their ability to use the scaling keys in UE5. They have absolutely no respect for the scale consistency of units. Because that's a grabber, and it's like, I would say a third the size of a normal grabber, maybe? And you have the tanks, the cursed tanks, that are also just not remotely sized right. No, we're not doing that. We're not saying it's a junior grabber. That's not how those work. Because it's synthetic. It doesn't have a mouth. There's so many, you know what I'm like, there are so many. If they want to establish that, you know, your Ruska has units that grow, they should do that. And also, it goes along with all of their tank issues and other just scaling issues too, right? The cursed lack of silencer. It's either, I think they're on a squad anyway. Let's bring in more. 21 should be fine. I'm out of shotgun ammo. Oh no. I can fix this. I can fix this. Cut insinuates that it was going to be in the game in the first place. I would prefer the term prototype. No one knows if that was ever supposed to be in the game, but more of like a... It could have just been like a fucking meme, right? Or like something from long ago when your Ruska might have been more biologically oriented. Why are you shooting? You're being rushed by cyborgs. but no. And like that's my whole thing with like if you want to go data diving and like looking at files, that's perfectly fine. But don't insinuate that old files and logs like that mean that it was ever supposed to be in the game or is canon, right? I win! What the? Okay, you know what drones really need? Drones need moving and accuracy. When they're descending at Mach fuck you from the sky, they should not be that accurate. Eat fast, look around. Ooh, jerry can. I know her MOL. Yeah, one's locked. Wait, what did I do when I... okay. It's floating. Oh, hey, that's cool at least. Chopper's down there. It's nice. Nice little cool thing to see. Got stuck in between a few things. It actually looks like it's like, and you can still see kind of the messed up, you know, top part, but like it's kind of cool seeing it down there. It looks actually weirdly appropriate. A nice little accident. It makes me so sad that so many things are just not real here. So very sad. All right, down we go. God, fucking Jesus. I'm out of bullets. That was very inconvenient timing, I guess. Just ran out. And we were so close to the end, too. I didn't even really click, to be honest. Hey, bub. Alright, let's go do our penance again, see if we can't get lucky and find a codex. It kind of game shift too. It's got a lot of dark areas also, and the unit's silhouettes just do not do well in dark areas. Anything? Can't really tell. Michael, everyone knows the floor is lava. Come on. Alright, any luck finding the cold cuts? Capricola? It's a loose item spawner, right? So we'll just like spawn randomly on the floor somewhere. Boop. That's just a, yeah, lockbox. That was the, yeah, originally the pipe dream apparently, was like, yeah, having a big open world. I don't feel safe. Right, ain't that. Don't see it down there. Don't see it up there. Think this is a wash. No, this game has it does a very, yeah, things blend in very a lot sometimes. I'm okay. I'm okay. Don't mind me, just the fucking 5-year knockdown animation. I mean, they're visually simpler, which helps out a lot too, right? The clutter does add up a lot. And lots of games do like add a little bit of cheating too, right? Let's run it back. Let's bring an actual, like, decent gun to defend ourselves with if we need to. And by decent, I mean... So, I want... You guys all remember, like, 5 minutes ago when I was using a Nitro Express high rate of fire machine gun? And, like, how that was... It got some recoil, but it was controllable. Well... I mean, actually, hold on. We can just compare and contrast. I haven't tried to summon them. Well, we did activate the radar towers on Mesa. They didn't spawn, though. But no, we've been trying to get cold cuts. So, similarly violent, right? Honestly, it actually goes up higher. this 9mm SMG versus Nitro Express machine gun. Ah, alright. Alright, I would like a codex, please. Oh, okay. So Michael, you're. Let me just make sure I understand your sentence correctly. You're saying a 9mm should kick up this much? Is what I'm hearing right now from you? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that seems that's what you're saying. If your wrists are that weak, then firing or wearing, like holding a gun this heavy, according to you, should probably break your wrists. Well, plenty of lockboxes around. Hello. Fucking just ponged off the walls. No, come back. I got a toy. Don't run. Alright, I think I won. Alright. I don't think there's anything here for me though. That's interesting. It's a neat way of covering it. Or finding it in raid free par. I'm always for salvaging different parts off of units. A lot of officers. It'd be a real shame to destroy their officer corps. Hello. It kind of does. I don't think many games do this, but it is kind of interesting how, like, there is that video of, like, I think Grand Thumb of, like, a Micah trying to shoot, I think, the new M249 replacement, I think, right? While walking forward, and just, like, the recoil is, like, not letting him do that. So, like, a gun like this, all I'm basically saying is it would be interesting if, like, shooting, like, full auto kind of reduced your capacity to, like, move forward shooting. It wouldn't be a big change, but, like, it would... Subtle things like that add a lot of flavor. And just ground the game a bit more. Doesn't make it realistic, just makes it grounded, right? Just makes it feel like the world is alive. I'm running out of water over here. Every single scrapyard we run is like a thing of water, so we're just kind of draining ourselves. We probably start collecting water, to be honest, though, too. We've been like passing up a lot of loot. And considering this map doesn't usually have HKs too, it's like, why not? Alright, that's a lockbox. That's gonna be explosives. Lockbox, explosives, lockbox. I mean, honestly, with the no cyborgs on this map, it is a pretty easy farm getting it out, especially with the rack. Just to destroy it. Oh, it's a A32. Or A12. Hello. And I got this, don't worry. I got this. I got this. See? Easy. Are there mods that do that? I'm pretty sure most mods are just model flips. If you're trying to do more than like just replacing assets with UE5, they kind of do need to give you mod tools or give you some way of interacting with the game. I'm not sure if they can actually... I don't know how much I could possibly do. Like, I can break down the files and see what the like numbers are, but I don't think I have the ability to recompile it, really. I could be wrong about that, I just don't know. There's a reason predominantly why mods right now, if not most of them, are either cheat engines, which, you know, do it different ways, or what's it called? Are just mod flips or asset flips. Like replacing a model of like Scav Girl with Mom. Disco, it's not even the spray cone on Painless, that's the spray cone on any gun. Wait, hold on here. Alright, Grillo baby. Come here. Yeah, but like, if I'm gonna have to go to like, I would have to go figure out what affects what like unit damage to, and so on and so forth. Like, it gets getting into the nitty gritty. Alright. So, if you're unfamiliar with how weapons work in the game right now, this is, I actually will say, this is going to be worse than it probably is for most characters. Gunhead's the worst because he only has access to third person. So, there is the initial recoil kick that dampens after like the 4th, 5th bullet back down to where you were originally aiming. And then it just turns into this large MOA cone of inaccuracy, which is just, there's no input, right? It's just, you just have to stop shooting and reset. And like, even then it's not recovered yet either. It's just like, I wouldn't say it's anti-shooter, it's just wrong. Just because you're an anti-shooter doesn't mean you need to make guns like, well, why are NPCs absolute crack shots, but the guns that we have that are the equivalent of their guns apparently got issues when they don't do sustained fire, or when they do sustained fire? It's just weird, right? It's not consistent. And it's not grounded at all in any reality. It's not stylized. It's just, yeah, just wrong. It feels detached. Anyway. maybe scavs wave their arm a lot. That cone of dispersion is not from people waving their arms a lot. That's just an MOA cone at the end of the gun. Hold on, I'll have to go to first person and actually show you what the hell I mean. If it was grounded where the gun was actually moving and where the gun was pointing is where your bullets were going to for the most part with slight deviations, I would agree with you. That is not what's happening right now. Because one of those, when you see it, looks right because the gun is bobbing around and moving. And the bullets are moving with the gun, right? As the gun, like the barrel points in different directions, the gun projectile, the bullet projectile moves with it, right? That's not what's happening right now. I don't see anything. I think we're good. Something happened to you when you go offline. I mean, the game's an offline shooter, so I don't... If they're referring to the old water system, that's been dead for a while now. And also, like, if your guys' point's gonna be like, well, it's a scav gun, it doesn't look like a scav gun. It looks like a fresh new mentally saw off the production line. But no, Copper, if you're concerned about, like, I guess the old water system, it's been dead for a while. No, Neo, actually bursts are the actual, you don't do bursts. Ideally, you just leave it on, you just go full auto, and you just do not do, you do sustained fire for sure, like, it's gonna sound like bursts. Bursts to me, like, makes you think of like 3 to 4 shots. You kind of need to burst for more like 10 to 20, because the first like 1 to 4 bullets are gonna be mainly lost. I mean, there's still soft wipe mechanics in the game, and I'm sure they're going to add more at time considering the one they add currently exists. I mean, so Copper, I'm kind of curious though, right? Like, what they're probably referring to, the thing that you're mentioning, right, is that there used to be a timer in the game, right? The IRL water timer, and water would drain over time, even if you weren't playing the game. And if you ran out of the water, you would get soft wiped. Essentially, you would lose your inventory. You would keep certain things like character progress and quests completion, but like that and stuff like that. But you would lose a lot of your inventory. That's been removed from the game. Now, the soft wipe mechanic is still in the game for like certain fail conditions, but like, it's not something you generally interact with currently. Yeah, but like, Mongoose, like, I can't tell how many of you are just being facetious. But like, yes, the scav gun here, the very clear looking scav guns. Let me go LMGs. So very scavvy. So very worn down. No, like, let's go over to like, say, Mask Man. We'll bring an extra 200 rounds, or actually 400 rounds. And the M60 will bring, I guess, another 300. Or whatever we have left of that. We can probably bring something else maybe instead, actually. RPD works. So I think RPD is pretty bad also. Well, so Michael, generally speaking, the ways that games prioritize bursts, not all games do this, but the games that want to prioritize bursting, is that, like, you are essentially much more accurate, as opposed to, say, like, say for each shot after the first, you increase the amount of recoil the user feels, right, in the game, but you taper it off at the beginning to make it less severe at the beginning, right? Essentially, you give some players some leeway early on to prioritize, like, reward them for, like, accuracy and bursting as opposed to full auto. It really depends on how you want to tune it, right? You can tune it in 5 million different ways. So this is the problem, right? This is full auto. If the gun was bouncing around and aiming in the direction where the bullets were going, I would be okay with that, because it would feel grounded to me. But it doesn't do that, so it doesn't. That's the core issue here, right? Is that the gun, the area where the projectile is spawning out of the gun does not feel actually relevant to the gun at all. This is not about animation at all. No, this is about linking. This is not about animation. This is not an animation issue. That's not an, no, it's, yeah, it's not. That's not how that works. Animations make guns look better and smoother, but this is just a core of how they designed their guns issue. I think the RPD actually just did it there. Hold on, let's see the RPD. Okay, you see that? Actually, the RPD actually did that, right? Where it only did it for like, it might have been like a weird instance of it, right? Where like for like 1 or 2 of the bullets, it actually flicked off to the right, and it felt like the bullet was going in that direction, right? Neo, so what we're trying to do, Neo, what we've been trying to do for a very long time today, is to get an item to spawn called a codex on the ground for Kolketa, cold cuts, what the fuck you want to call them, right? And it does not spawn on it doesn't spawn every time you go to a map, but it spawns like a loose item, correct? So that means if you're trying to force to find the item, this is the best map to do it because it's a small surface area and you can quickly investigate the map and leave if it's not here. Having to manually search all of the floor space on Frozen Swamp would be miserable. Don't mind me, just gotta get up real quick. No big deal. Hold on. I mean, the gun just always jitters though, right? It's just the recoil you're seeing on the gun is really just like, it's just visual, right? It doesn't have effect on the gun, it feels like, at all. No, Copper, there's no, like, there's guides online, but there's no maps in game, really. You gotta just have to play and learn. But there are plenty of, like, guides and quest tutorials and stuff like that online you can find. Or, like, maps for maps. Yeah, exactly, right. And I'm not saying that recoil has to be realistic, I just want it to, like, exist in a capacity where it feels relevant, even if it's stylized, right? No, I don't think it's here. No, well, I'm not really sure if there's a meta. People generally will default to the RPK, as like the silenced assault rifle. That's the usual go-to. Typically, I would say like my meta is Scar plus auto shotgun.
I hope you bastards at home appreciate this.
Well, so basically, all what they're doing, at least in effect, what they're doing, right, is essentially there's a top off, right, but like as you fire a gun, you eventually add to the bloom of where the projectile can land, and they might have certain weights on where like projectiles will land, like you know, 10% might fall within this radius, 20% in this radius, so on and so forth. And it gets wider and wider as you fire to a certain extent. Essentially, they're just like, they just have bloom on the guns at a certain point, right? Not deviation, but just bloom. It's passable. I think it's a mistake. I think they lean very heavily into it. I don't think they should, but they already have, and they're going to, I think, in perpetuity, so... Like, we have all of these modifications, and I'm gonna be quite just honest and upfront. The only ones that matter are the suppressor and the magazine. Everything else just does not fucking matter. It's just for people who want to modify their gun for tactical, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a lot of effort just to appease vanity when you already appeased to vanity in so much else of your game. No, not really. Even the guns that should be bolt action are still semi, like the VKS. I can't. Well, so like, is there a reason to have 20 different optics that basically 95% do the exact same functionality? Or is there a reason to have 15, 20 different handguards that for the most part all function identically? Recoil and stability don't matter. I can tell you, these numbers will change. They do not do anything. And let me just rephrase. Yes, I know they do something, but they are so minuscule in their actual impact that they effectively do nothing. I have taken a gun with 2 recoil against a gun with 26 recoil, and there's basically been almost no difference. There was a small difference. I will appeal to that. There was a small difference. But for the stark contrast of like best to worst, nothing. Not in the grand scheme of things. Like, and I don't mind all of these different customizations for customization's sake. That's perfectly fine. But like, it doesn't do anything for me personally. All they do is affect recoil and stability, man. The only thing you care about muzzle devices is for is if it's a suppressor or not. Like, hold on. I wish I'd still equip 2 guns at the same time that were the same type. Used to be able to. It was actually kind of nice for comparison's sake. Let's do one more Scrapyard. Actually, let's go over to Mask Man. That's the big thing too, Mongoose, is a lot of them are just... I don't know. I really wish they stylized the guns more. I'm not really a big fan of them using so many contemporary firearms that have like no modifications at all. Well, like, it feels, Vinny, my point is more in the sense of, like, when your comparison and your competitor is Tarkov, like, is that even something you ever want to, like, invest so much... You're trying to compete with a game that's got, like, half a decade on you in regards to time to work on the system.
I hate the surface.
Like, I honestly, I've always been, like, a fan of, I don't think it's worth the fucking effort, to be quite frank. I would rather your time be spent elsewhere. Like, imagine if we had half the guns, but, like, 4 more units. I would take that deal in a fucking heartbeat. Or rather, I would say this, as opposed to we can keep 44 guns in the game, but we remove, like, we give each one, like, maybe 2 presets, maybe 2 or 3 presets right off attachments, and then nix all the customization. And then for that, we have better gunplay or better units. Because they don't have to spend so much time working on attachments. There's a bolt. Which one isn't? There's a bolt gun that caliber though, right? Isn't there? Or is there not? It might not be the VCAS. Is there a gun in that caliber, Michael, that is an bolt configuration? I forgot my tac cam. Can't see anything. I mean, well, Mongo's 100%. I think that's kind of a question that's been kicked down the road, you know, for a while now, just because until we see their idea of progression, it's not a fair question to ask. It's a fair question to bring up, but, like, it's not an answerable question at this current time. But, like, once we see any idea of what their idea of progression is, I'm fully with you. But it's hard to, like, assume until we have any idea of what that might be. GameShift, if the vibe is the only point, they did a terrible job marketing the game. So I don't think that's the thing. If their goal was to make a game purely off vibe, their marketing is misleading and disingenuous. Once again, I don't think that's the case because I don't think they were that malicious with their marketing. I hope. That's my biggest point too, right? Is like, I've seen time and time again, indie devs cannot fucking help themselves for some reason. They just get into this constant idea of, what if we just add another, you know, genre to our title list or descriptor? That'll be fine, right? It might attract more attention. Yes, but that's not always a good thing. Shiro did this, for example, right? Where with Dune Spice Wars, they added it to, they added the RTS tag to their 4 times game, and like, you can kind of say it's an RTS, but it doesn't do the things RTS players are looking for, right? Of like grand battles and spectacles, right? It was a very strategy-oriented game with some RTS combat elements, but it wasn't about the spectacle, right? Which RTS players love. So when you call your game an RTS and you bring their attention to it and they play it and, you know, they don't see any of the cute, cool things about RTSs they like the spectacle and the big fights and the polished animations and the lots of different units to fight with, they're gonna feel misled. Copper, in regards to this game, I'm not saying it's a mid-product. It's a product still in development, right? I'm not saying it can't be mid. I'm not saying it's excellent either. I'm saying it's in the oven, right? We don't know. And as they get closer to, like, if the game launched to 1.0 right now, yeah, I would be very upset. I would say I felt like I was misled. And I felt like your marketing was
Like
not right.
Came early.
But we're not at 1.0 yet.
Gotta open those presents.
And same thing with progression too, right? Once we see an inkling of progression, trust me, if you're newer on the channel, you might not know this. I'm a staunch supporter and also critic of the game. People who regularly stream know I can be very critical sometimes. So thoroughly critical. Trust me, I do not pull punches. I try to be fair, but I do not pull punches. Oh no, you're good. I understand, yeah, you don't have that prior context. There will be no shilling here. Yeah, fruit par, but like that's at a close it off Q&A, right? Like, or what? I don't know. I got sold this game from their marketing material on their YouTube page, right? I didn't watch Rillo until after I bought into the game. I didn't watch their Q&As or their shorts. I just watched their main, like, original gameplay trailers and, like, other trailers earlier on, right? Before the game went out to early access. I didn't play their, like, pre-alpha, pre-beta, whatever it was, before September. Like, I went into it fairly blind after watching the YouTube videos. And so, like, that was all of the marketing I received. And it was strictly from them. And remember, they don't mention the playable art book aspect at all. Remember, when, like, you bring up the playable art book, that's from second and third hand resources, right? It's not from Fundog themselves. They don't market their game as a playable art book. That's a selling point that Rillo uses. And much of the community has adopted, rather. Ooh, I gotcha.
Hey, I live for this. Please, give me time.
That's kind of what we're waiting for progression for, right, Mongoose? Like, a core concept of progression, right, is keeping players kind of strung along. Like, giving them that kind of carrot to keep them playing, right? So, like, it makes sense right now where it, you know, the game really does lack that. I do agree with you. It's more of, like, is their iteration of progression going to solve that? And if it doesn't, then I agree with you. Yeah, like there is an issue with the game it has where it doesn't do a good job of giving like loose guardrails or a loose kind of path for players to follow through, right? But I would personally group that kind of in the progression area. Stop running at Mach 1. Cheating the laws of reality. But Michael, that's the minority of players. Like, if you're gonna make a game for like all 100 of those players, sure, go ahead. You don't have to do a lot to make them happy. Like, yeah, but like you're not gonna appeal to a large audience that way. And maybe they're not trying to, but like, I can tell you in a fucking, like, if that was genuinely the case for me, I would leave in a goddamn heartbeat. Oh, 100%, no, like Mongoose, they do have a more difficult task because they don't have the easy pipeline of competing with other people. 100%. Like, they have to work into their game design, like, the motivations for the players and how do you keep them engaged and how do you keep the pressure on them too, right? Like, for better or for worse, right, like, soft wipes and things that keep the pressure on you are kind of a necessary evil. Well, not even soft wipes, I would say. There has to be, like, pressure systems in the game to apply pressure to you as the player. And, like, because it's PvE, right, it's up to you to want to engage in those, but they need to be there systemically just to provide, a foundation for you to go forward throughout the game. I mean, there's talks about stuff like that, right? They've always mentioned that they don't want you to be, like, and I personally, I don't think you should either, but, like, they mentioned that, like, you shouldn't be, it shouldn't feel like you should have a lever on the war or the conflict in the region, right? You should be a bystander, a passerby, a witness, but not a maybe contributor, but not someone who has the weight to actually affect it, right? And I do think right now the game is really pushed toward a mercenary playstyle, which I don't think is overall conducive to the anti-shooter game they said they wanted to make, or at least they advertise, right? Mongoose, I don't think necessarily it's true. Like, you don't have to bring in competition with other players. All that does is gonna invite cheaters. Like, the lack of competition between other players is the one of the better parts about this game, right? It's I don't want to say it's solitaire, but like in a way it's solitaire, right? If you start making it players versus other players, even if it's like a leaderboard, right? Even if it's two siloed players who don't interact with each other directly, they're still going to incentivize things like cheating and, you know, just because someone wants to say they're better than someone else. Like, it's just, there's no fucking point. There's no integrity in any spaces like that online anymore.
Pressing hard. Ooh. But at least we're headed home.
Alright, let's attack him. You know what? We'll do one different map. You know what? Let's do it. We made our bed, let's sleep in it. What's more fitting? J-Pop, they've worked on movement in general. They haven't worked on animations, I think. It does remind me, though. That was always, like, my biggest thing. That was literally my first takeaway when I first saw the trailers in the game. I was like, this game looks really cool, but holy fuck, do the animations look awful. And they still don't look great. Like, you can, like, right now you can see, like, the movement-wise, like, Scav Girl's walk, it feels a little bit floaty and skatey, right? If I'm going to be really nitpicky. I mean, I wouldn't even say nitpicky, right? Just, what's the right word for it? Critical. What do you mean one-shot kill gun? Like, where you can kill anything? Well, there's unkillables in the game. There's units you can't kill. Like this guy. Where's my shield officer at? I got some guys to save me here. Like, there's brief moments, right, where you can tell they're not doing root motion, they're doing basically movement that has animations attached to it. Because there's lots of moments, right, where I'm doing like weird movements that are kind of not, not, the animation plays one way, but I'm moving a different way. The community is super nice too, and that's like, that is one of the nicer things too about having a PvE space that has like literally no competition, is people who are just like competition brain just don't engage in it at all. And all I'm gonna say is this: if like you really want PvP, go play Marauders. Let me know how it goes. Oh wait, the game is basically DOA because it's had PvP for a long time. It's been unchecked. PvP, cheaters, RMT. That's all you get nowadays for games like that, sadly. I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy PvP either if it had integrity, but they just don't have integrity anymore. There we go. You're not real, right? Yeah. Whoa, 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 what the fuck? Can a girl just vibe on top of a fucking gun, please? My god. There's probably this guy here.
Enemy contact. Not sure where.
Hold on. There we go, we got it. America. This is what I mean though. The shield officer spawns, and it's an HK, right? So it is hunting us right now. Like, and it is omniscient. It just like, is it bugged out? Is it stuck in combat? Like, where is it? Oh, there he is. There's a little silly guy. Is he aggro to me, actually? I guess we're gonna find out. I'm gonna hide. Well, what do you mean by Last of Us? Like AAA with lots of money and time? Are you aggroed or are you... Where the fuck did he go? Oh, he's back. I feel like he's aggroed. Oh, that's fair. Oh, he's back. Never mind, he teleported again. No. You're not. Stop. No. Stop that. What the fuck? Stop trying to. It's nothing personal, kid me. You and your fucking just random teleporting. God, where is it? There he is. Yeah, get him.
Feel the
Fuck him
crash?
up.
They're on their way.
No, not me, not me. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You were hurting me more than you were. No.
Enemy contact. Not sure where.
Come on. No. Not gonna lie, the control dodge is coming in fucking real handy right now. I never use this control dodge. Just please stop. He just doesn't give a single fucking shit. Oh god. Oh, are you saying this is a game? I mean, I'm highlighting them. I'm like, since this is funny, and is it issue? Yes. Like, is it path? It's lots of different things. This is highlighting lots of different. Oh god, the tank. Where'd he go? Fuck no. Stop teleporting. I'm not sure how much of this is like a pathfinding issue. Oh god, it just yeah. There's a lot going on right now in regards to whatever the hell's going on. Where did he go? Where did he teleport to? Oh, like, okay, there he is. He's gone. I came here just to vibe because I knew I fully knew this was going to happen when I came into here, so it was kind of just coming in here to do exactly what we just did. Kind of just meme around with the Captain Chen. But if you weren't here for when I blew up the bridge, I kind of did say it was going to make Mesa unplayable for the entire duration of the rest of the time. And that's why. What you just saw was basically what happens whenever you have the shield officer spawn. It kind of just went in for the memes. It makes Mesa unplayable for about 5 hours. Alright, anyway, that's it for today, everyone. I'll be back on Wednesday. New video is in the works. I lost a lot of time from illness, but hopefully I can recoup some of that this week. Other than that, yeah, take it easy, everyone. Hopefully we might see the Q&A sometimes in the near future. I mean, it has to come eventually, right? They can't put it off forever? Or can they? Anyway, alright, bye all.